Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the Blues feed for another preview podcast. We are previewing the Newcastle away game on Saturday lunchtime and the struggle that Chelsea are probably going to face. But before we get into what we think and how we expect the game to flow, I am joined by Danny, as always. Danny, how are you, my friend?
Living the dream, mate. Living the dream. Quite interesting just watching this whole Maresca debacle unfold in front of us, and how that's all going. Um, Very big few weeks. I think we've got 11, 10, 11 more games between now and the end of January. So we're going to probably see what comes to fruition with the whole Moresca situation. If he's sacked, if he stays, what's going to go on, and it's going to be a big swing in our season in the next 6 weeks as well. So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, every 3 days now for about 7 weeks or something mental. So,
Yeah, I mean, I think if we don't beat Napoli and Paphos, we'll be playing every 3 weeks till March.
yeah.
Every 3 days, sorry, till March.
Mad,
So
absolutely mad. Before we get into the video any further, just want to remind everyone of our 1K subscriber giveaway, of which we will be giving away a Chelsea shirt from this season once we hit 1,000 subscribers. So make sure you comment and follow us on Twitter, comment on our YouTube videos, and subscribe, as well as dropping us a like on this video. We will have another giveaway coming out just after Christmas for you guys, so make sure you stay tuned for that as well. Danny, Newcastle, 12:30 game. I hate this fixture every season. What are you thinking?
yeah, I mean, I got PTSD with Newcastle just because we just don't seem to beat them very often. I mean, obviously we beat them. I can't remember which way round it was. Did we beat them in the league and then we got smashed in the cup, or did we beat them in the cup and then got smashed in the league? I can't remember which way around it was
No,
last year.
we beat them in the league at home. I think we got pumped in the cup, and we
Yeah.
also lost to them at their place when Jackson got sent off towards the end of the season as well.
Yes, that's
I
it.
think
It was the
it's some
two
games
close
at Park was
together
the
was the
problem.
thing I forgot. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean it's going to be an interesting game. They're quite depleted, which we'll go on to in a mo. Massive game for us. We then also have a week off between now and our next game as well, which is significant. So yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting, mate.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be. It's really hard to predict because, like you say, they're a little bit depleted, especially at the back. But then also they're going to be really fired up in the league because their last game they lost to their local rivals, own goal. They really need to start picking up some points. Like everyone's talking about Spurs and how poorly they're doing, but yet they're on the same points as Newcastle. So I don't know, mate. It's difficult. Form would tell you that neither of us are in particularly good form. The table would say that we're the better side, but St James's Park and the Newcastle fans definitely come into play. I just don't know how Chelsea will be with this game because generally this year we've been quite good in the bigger games and pretty poor in the smaller games. And I just don't know where Newcastle are at currently. We'd class this as a bigger game to get up for. It's a bit of a, it's just got a bit of a weird feeling around it, hasn't it, at the minute?
Yeah, I mean I said it after I think it was the Leeds game. I said on Twitter, I said something just doesn't seem right behind the scenes, and I said at the time that's obviously quite easy for that to say after some terrible, terrible performances. But I was absolutely spot on to kind of pat myself on the back because there's obviously there's obviously something not right because we played shit in every game since. Maresca's decided to pick a fight with all of the higher ups, decided not to squash it in his press conference. He's been flirting with Juventus beforehand. Now he's flirting with Man City. He's changed his agent to the sporting director of Man City's basically best mate and the person who got him the job at Man City. Um, and they've all allowed that information to come out from Maresca and City side. So if Pep Guardiola is stepping down from City and Maresca wants to go to City, let him go, mate. Like I don't want anybody at Chelsea who's not committed. I said the same when it was Renato Vega. I said the same when it was Lukaku. I said it the same when it was João Felix. I'll say it the same when it was Havertz, Noni. Doesn't matter if Enzo Fernandez turns around and starts flirting with other clubs. I'll tell him to fuck off as well. If people do not see Chelsea as the club they want to be at, regardless of who it is, I'm happy for them to go. Like, and that would even stretch to the point of Cole Palmer. I'd be absolutely devastated if Cole Palmer wanted to leave because he's our best attacker by far. But if he starts flirting with Real Madrid, Barcelona, whatever, yeah, cool, bro. We'll take the money of you and we'll move on. I don't want people who are not committed. And it's the thing it's baffling me about the whole situation at the moment with the fan base on Twitter and stuff like that. They're all taking Maresca's side. Well, if this was a player, you'd be demanding them to be dropped. I think they're just everybody's bought into this Maresca versus sporting directors, and quite a lot of people don't rate the sporting directors and don't think they should be in charge. So they're deciding to side with Maresca more, regardless of what your thoughts are on Maresca.
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head there, to be honest, mate. And the thing for me that to just sort of back up what you're saying, you can't get rid of players at any point in the season. Obviously, you've only got the designated transfer windows, but with managers, you can get rid of them at any point. And for me, if Maresca's eyeing up the Juventus job in the summer, I do understand it. It's going back home, that sort of thing. He probably doesn't quite like the scrutiny he gets at Chelsea, which I do sort of understand. But for me, he can stay until the end of the season. There's not really an immediate replacement we could have. But if he's flirting with City and he wants a City job, get him out now. I don't care who the fuck we're getting into him.
Tonight.
That's a direct Premier League rival. Okay, they might be going for the title and we're going for top four, but they're still a direct rival that we're not that far behind in the league. You cannot be flirting with them mid-season. If that was a player,
we're playing him in 3 weeks,
exactly.
2 weeks.
And I mean, as far as we understand it, the briefing that's come out today, as we speak, Thursday lunchtime, is from David Ornstein, obviously, but that's come from Maresca's side, as far as we understand it. So they're obviously trying to do something here. I do really think at the minute, after the sort of revelations in the last week, he's trying to get sacked. He wants out of Chelsea Football Club, and if you do, just be the big boy, grow up and get out. But he obviously wants the money, doesn't he? He's not going to leave without being paid off. Which
absolutely,
again,
what,
you
6
sort of
months
understand,
off?
but yeah,
6 months off, massive payout, and then go and get the City job in the summer. If you think that job's yours already, why would you not?
Yeah, but if he wants a City job, he's got to go. He has to go now.
Absolutely. Tonight, but, like before the Newcastle game. I don't care. Put fucking the under-21s manager in charge. Put one of the assistants in charge. I do not care. If he wants the Man City job, he cannot be in charge when we play Man City in, what is it, the 4th of Jan? I think we played it.
Yeah, it's 4th of Jan, yeah.
What are you going to do? What, you're going to take him up on the club bus, go to Man City, to a club where he probably wants to be next year?
He'll probably have an interview after the game.
Yeah, go and have dinner with the owners and the sporting director after the game.
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting development, I think, over the next couple of days.
And just to make it clear for the people to listen, just for the listeners, this has got absolutely fuck all to do with Moresca as a manager. I would be saying the same if it was Frank Lampard, if it was John Terry, if it was Poch, if it was Potter. I don't care. If you're not committed to the club and you're definitely looking at a job for a rival, go now.
I think if we're going to separate the issues as well of, there's sort of 3 things here for me. It's wanting City, it's wanting Juventus, and it's his management of Chelsea as a whole. I think if it's he wants City, go now. If he wants Juventus, I do sort of get it, and we can get away with keeping him till the end of the season, because right now I don't think there's a good interim necessarily. For City, if it was City, I don't really care who the interim is. But if it's Juventus, I can get on board with keeping him till the end of the season. I sort of understand that. And then it's his management of Chelsea right now. And then, like we've said quite frequently in recent weeks, and I'm going to keep consistent, big games, I'm really impressed with him this season. The Barcelona game, etc., really impressed with him. It is the rest of the stuff that I'm really, really concerned about. Right now, I'm not Maresca in, I'm not Maresca out. Let's see at the end of the season sort of thing. But everything boils back to City. If he wants City, go now. Just get out. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. Let's talk a little bit deeper about the Newcastle game, Danny. So they're very, very much depleted at the back. I think they've only actually got 2 fit first team defenders in Malik Chow and Fabian Schär. Livramento came off last night. I think Lewis Hall's out. Botman's out, Burns out, Kraft's out, Lascelles is out, Trippier's out. They played Lewis Miley at right back last night, and he played really well. But I'm not sure they're quite going to have the team to sit in a low block and really frustrate Chelsea. And I don't think Newcastle tend to do that at home anyway. I don't think the fans accept that, which any football fan wouldn't really. So I think there is going to be opportunities for Chelsea to attack here. I mean, for all the people that are watching right now, you'll see the graphic on screen where you can see the really obvious areas that we can hurt them, and it's in behind the fullbacks and pulling their centre backs wide and leaving gaps down the middle. I think they're the main things we can do. And as always with Chelsea, if you move the ball quick, you can hurt teams, especially with the way that Newcastle seemed to shape up last night against Fulham. I watched the second half of that game, and it gave me a little bit of optimism, but I just hate this fixture. What are you thinking, Danny?
Matt, I can't agree with you anymore. To be honest, I mean, as you can see on the shape, they only had 2 defenders on the pitch last night as well. So in positional and in actual players. So you're probably playing Newcastle in the best time you possibly could. They're depleted heavily. They've not been in the best form. They're not in the worst form, but they're also not in the best form. So you have to go and take advantage. My kind of big concern is, one, it's St James's Park and they've just lost to Sunderland, so they'll be rocking. They'll be very, very, they'll be very, very motivated from that side. And then also, like, how much is this Maresca noise stuff affecting the behind the scenes stuff? It's going to be very, very likely that Chelsea are off today, or not exactly a heavy session anyway. So all the players are probably sat at home right now, or sat in the training ground doing some light workouts, all getting the same notifications we go. What's that going to do to the dressing room? What's that going to do to what's going on? It was we beat Cardiff 3-1, but it was a very lackluster performance, and basically we had better players. We weren't better, we just had better players in moments. So it's a real big mishmash of their probably the best time to play them, but also probably the worst time for us to play them also. So
yeah, true. I think the noise around us at the minute is going to be quite loud, especially with what's come out in the media today. And I'm expecting Chelsea to come out and either squash it or comment upon it between now and the start of that game. What that is.
Well, he's going to have another press conference, and let's see how political he is tomorrow morning.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what all of that entails. So let's move on, Danny, to sort of our predictions of a lineup and how we expect Chelsea to shape up. And, well, as seems to be a common occurrence when you and I are together at the minute, we seem to agree. So we had a chat beforehand, and we actually both had the exact same predicted lineup. For those of you who are watching, you'll see it on the screen. So it was Rob Sanchez in goal, Malagusto at right back with Cucurella at left back, and then Trevor Fofana continuing their partnership at centre half. Moises Caicedo returning in the Premier League with Reece James in the middle, Pedro Neto from the right, Garnacho from the left, Palmer in the 10 with João Pedro up front, giving Enzo Fernandez a rest, which for me, I'm a big Enzo Fernandez fan, and I do think a couple of times a season he needs a game or two on the bench just to rest and sort of just go again, really. And I think when he tends to come back from those rests, he tends to just come back on fire. So hopefully that'll be the case. He might have a game or two on the bench, get a bit of energy back, and he's played a lot of football recently. So hopefully he can do that, come back and be a real asset for us in this next sort of 7 or 8 weeks where we've got a ridiculous amount of games. Danny, do you want to comment on sort of why you think this lineup is best to take on Newcastle and why this is our best lineup at the moment?
I think you've got Gusto's pace out wide to deal with Gordon, and you're not putting as much stress on James. James to beef up that midfield because it's a very dominant and physical midfield. With Caicedo, I like that. Like you mentioned, Enzo Fernandez looks a bit of a shadow of himself. So I think you need to rest, and you're either not playing James in midfield or you're kind of moving Palmer out wide, which I don't personally see happening. Garnacho's by far our best left winger. Neto's our only fit right winger, so he has to start, and he's probably our best winger overall, to be honest, at the moment. We don't have any other strikers, and he's not going to play Guiu, so it's Pedro up top. So I think half the team picks itself and half the team makes sense. And I'd be quite confident if everybody's fit and firing, if nobody's demotivated or distracted by the off the field stuff, that side should be more than good enough to go and beat a very depleted Newcastle.
Yeah, I couldn't agree much more with that, to be honest, mate. Let's hope that that's the case. I, on the other hand, don't think we're going to win, and we're going to come on to that now with our match predictions. I think that we're going to actually draw this game 2-2. It's difficult. I've sort of bouncing between head and heart. My head tells me that we will probably lose it. I don't think we'll get pumped as much as I thought we would earlier in the week, but I do fear for um, just the crowd and the atmosphere at St James's. To be honest, I've witnessed it, and it's never a nice place to go. So yeah, I think we're going to draw 2-2. I think Cole Palmer will continue his return by scoring, and Pedro Neto looks really good at the minute, so hopefully he'll get another goal. And I think Reece will be man of the match. I think this game set up quite nicely for him to be physical and sort of try and control the midfield a little bit against quite a technically gifted and physical midfield that the Newcastle possess themselves.
Fair enough, mate. And I've gone 2-1 Palmer and Garnacho with James man of the match. Quick and simple. I think we'll just have too much for them. But I will, again, caveat, if we're not distracted by the off-field stuff.
Yeah,
and I've gone for Palmer just because Palmer is Palmer. And I've gone for Garnacho because he's just an absolute chance magnet. He just has the ball, just comes to him in all the right spots. And the 2 goals in the midweek, I think, will only do his confidence good from a finishing perspective. I mean, he could have had 2 goals at the weekend as well, quite comfortably as well. So I think he will continue his good form.
That discourse around him from when we signed has slowly got quieter and quieter, and he's going about his business quite nicely in a Chelsea shirt. Nothing spectacular, not pulling up any trees, but like Danny says, he gets himself in the right areas of the pitch, which is definitely what we want from him. There. So, Danny, have you got anything else to add before we wrap up the Newcastle game?
No, don't believe so, mate.
Okay, so we are going to be back again early next week for a review of Newcastle and then a preview of the Villa game. That will be out a bit earlier than usual due to when that lands. Obviously, that's the day after Boxing Day, and Danny and I, as much as we love producing content for you guys, will not be doing it on Christmas Day or Boxing Day as we usually would a day or two before the game. So we will get that out to you guys early next week, and then that you will be seeing a lot of stuff from us in the coming weeks because there are games after games after games. So bear with us. There'll be lots of content. Let's hope for a Chelsea victory on Saturday, and we will catch you all again after Newcastle and before Aston Villa. Thank you all for listening, and up the Chelsea.